You walk into a room, and the conversation suddenly stops. You see the side eyes, the suppressed smirks, and the awkward shifting of feet. You just know they were talking about you. Or perhaps a friend comes to you, eyes wide with faux concern, telling you exactly what was said about you when you weren't there. It stings, it feels like a betrayal. Your heart starts racing, your face gets hot, and your mind immediately jumps to plotting your defense or your revenge. It is a universal human experience. We have all been the subject of gossip, rumors, and slander. But how you react to it determines whether you are a slave to their opinions or a master of your own mind. Most people react with anger or insecurity. They waste hours replaying the scenario, crafting imaginary arguments, and trying to hunt down the source to set the record straight. But you are not most people. You are a student of Stoicism, a philosophy that was built for exactly these kinds of moments. The ancient Stoics lived in dangerous times. The courts of Rome were snake pits of gossip, betrayal, and backstabbing. If anyone knew how to handle people talking behind their back, it was Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. They didn't just survive it, they thrived despite it. Today, we are going to dive deep into how you can use their genius strategies to become untouched by the words of others. The first thing you must understand is the fundamental Stoic truth that Epictetus taught so clearly. He said that it is not things that disturb us, but our judgment of those things. When someone talks behind your back, the act itself is just sound waves moving through the air or pixels on a screen. That is the objective reality. The hurt comes from your interpretation that this is bad, that it damages you, or that it shouldn't happen. But here is the cold, hard truth. You have zero control over what comes out of another person's mouth. You could be the most virtuous, kind, and hardworking person in the world, and someone, somewhere, will still have something nasty to say about you. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, had people plotting against him and whispering that he was weak or philosophical or disconnected. If the Emperor of Rome couldn't stop people from talking, what chance do you have? None. And that is actually good news. It means it is not your job to stop them. Your job is only to control how you receive it. Let's look at a specific strategy from the books. There is a famous story about Socrates, who was the great hero of the Stoics. This perfectly illustrates the point about the show. In ancient Athens, there was a playwright named Aristophanes who wrote a comedy called The Clouds. In this show, he created a character named Socrates and mocked him relentlessly. He portrayed Socrates as a fool, a con artist, and a clown who dangled in a basket. The entire city of Athens watched this play. Imagine the humiliation. Thousands of people laughing at a caricature of you. Most men would have been furious. They would have sued for slander or hidden in shame. But do you know what Socrates did? He went to the show, and when the actor playing him came onto the stage, the real Socrates stood up in the audience and remained standing for the rest of the play, so everyone could compare the real man to the fake one. He didn't say a word. He just smiled. By doing this, he showed them that the mockery couldn't touch him. He stripped the insult of its power by refusing to accept the shame. He treated the gossip and the mockery as something external to him, something that had nothing to do with his soul. So how do you apply this? When you hear that people are talking about you, you must act like Socrates at the play. You do not hide. You do not get angry. You simply stand up and let the truth of who you are speak for itself. If what they say is false, it is as ridiculous as the actor in the basket. It has nothing to do with you. If someone says you have purple skin and 3 horns, you wouldn't get offended. You would think they were crazy. You need to view malicious gossip with that same level of detachment. It is a fantasy they have created in their heads. There is another powerful technique from the Stoic texts that changes everything. It is called the insult analysis. When you find out someone has insulted you, your ego immediately wants to defend itself. But the Stoics ask a different question. They ask you to look at the source. Who is the person talking about you? Are they a person of high character? Are they wise? Are they kind? Usually, the answer is no. People who talk behind backs are usually bored, insecure, or jealous. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself in his Meditations that he should not value the opinions of people who don't even value themselves. He asked himself why he should care about the applause or the booing of people who can't even go a day without regretting their own actions. Think about it this way. If a toddler came up to you and called you a poo-poo head, would you go home and cry? Would you post a long rant on social media defending your honor? Of course not. You would laugh because you understand. The source is a child who doesn't know any better. The Stoics view the ignorant masses in the same way. When people gossip, they are acting out of ignorance and immaturity. They are showing you their own character, not yours. As Epictetus famously said, if someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against the specific charge. Instead, say this: he obviously does not know about my other faults, otherwise he would not have mentioned these alone. That is a genius-level response. It completely disarms the insult. It shows that you are so comfortable with yourself, so aware of your own humanity, that their petty little gossip is nothing compared to the real work you are doing on yourself. It signals that you are playing a different game. They are playing the game of social approval. You are playing the game of self-mastery. But what if the gossip is actually true? What if they are talking behind your back about a mistake you really made? The Stoic approach here is even more radical. If it is true, then they have actually done you a favor. They have pointed out a flaw that you can now fix. You should accept the truth, correct your behavior, and move on. There's no need to be angry at the messenger, even if the messenger was trying to be mean. You can take the value from their words and discard the venom. You treat them like a harsh teacher. You improve not to please them, but to please yourself and your own standards of virtue. We must also talk about the specific reaction of silence. In the books, we read about Cato the Younger, a man who was so stoic that he intimidated Julius Caesar. Cato was once attacked by a man who spit in his face. The crowd waited for Cato to explode. He was a powerful politician. He could have destroyed the man. Instead, Cato wiped his face and simply said, "I swear to you, sir, people are wrong when they say you cannot use your mouth for anything." He didn't rage. He didn't let it ruin his day. He used wit and composure. But often, the best reaction is no reaction at all. When you ignore the gossip completely, you suffocate it. Fire cannot burn without oxygen, and drama cannot survive without attention. When you go back to the people who were talking about you, you must act as if you know nothing. This is the ultimate power move. You treat them with the same kindness and respect you always have. This confuses them. They expect you to be cold or aggressive. When you are warm and unbothered, it makes them question themselves. They start to wonder if you are just better than them. And the truth is, in that moment, you are. You are demonstrating that your peace of mind is not up for auction. You are showing them that they do not have the remote control to your emotions. Marcus Aurelius gave us the ultimate piece of advice for this situation. He said, "The best revenge is not to be like that. If you react to gossip with more gossip, you have lost. If you react to backstabbing by backstabbing them, you have become exactly what you hate. You have let them drag you down into the mud. The only way to win is to remain upright. You keep your character clean. Let them talk. Let them waste their breath. You have a life to live. You have a destiny to fulfill. While they are busy talking about you, you are busy getting better. There is a freedom in realizing that your reputation is outside of your control. You can do everything right and still be the villain in someone else's story. That is okay. In the grand play of life, you are only responsible for acting your own role well. Let the other actors bumble their lines. That is their problem. You focus on your performance. You focus on your truth. When you lay your head down at night, you don't answer to the gossips. You answer to your own conscience. If your conscience is clear, then the whispers of the crowd are just noise in the wind. So the next time you feel that sting of betrayal, remember Socrates standing in the theater. Remember Cato wiping his face. Remember Marcus Aurelius in his tent, writing notes to himself while his enemies plotted. Stand tall, smile, let them talk. You have better things to do. If you found value in this wisdom, make sure you subscribe and share this with someone who needs to hear it. The world is full of noise, and we all need a reminder to stay focused on what matters. I want to know what you think. Have you ever had a moment where staying silent was the most powerful thing you could do? Tell me your story in the comments below. I read every single one.